everyone, it's Veronica from Blue Star Crochet. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video tutorial on how to crochet this beautiful skinny scarf. So this is a really cute accessory and I have to tell you, I've been wearing this all the time because it's such an easy item to pair with pretty much anything. Just wrap it around your neck, pop it over your shoulders, whatever you want to do. So it's a Tunisian Crochet Skinny Scarf, and as you can see, I've used the Tunisian pearl stitch to get this beautiful texture on the scarf. And because the back of the Tunisian crochet already looks like a pearl stitch, this skinny scarf is pretty reversible. It creates a very similar texture on the front and on the back, so it's easy to wear around your neck and style it with whatever you want to wear it with. So as I said, this is a skinny scarf and I just knotted it like this just to show you. But this is a really easy make that we're going to make together. So we're going to start with increases. We're going to start at the bottom point and increase to the width of the scarf. And then once we get to the end, we're going to then decrease into the point again. So let's have a look at some of the materials that we will need for this project. Here are the materials that we will need for this Tunisian skinny scarf. I'm going to be using a fingering weight or category 1 superfine weight of yarn. This is 100% merino wool. I've also got a 5mm crochet hook. Now this is a Tunisian crochet hook that you can attach the cable to, but because we're only going to be working over 21 stitches at the most, we won't need the cable. And secondly, you probably won't even need a special Tunisian crochet hook for this. You can use a standard crochet hook as long as it's straight. If it hasn't got any handles or any kind of shape to the hook, just a straight hook like this, whether it's metal or wooden will do. So this is a 5mm. I also got some tapestry needles. I've got a stitch marker and scissors should we need them to finish the project. So let's get stuck in. For our work, we're going to start with a slip knot. So I'm going to create a loop and pop it on my fingers, then twist it over and grab the tail end, then pull it through to create a slip knot. And I'm going to pop this onto my hook and tighten it down. And what we're going to do is start by chaining 3. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3 like this. Now the first loop that always lives on your hook counts as the first stitch throughout the pattern. So I've got 1 loop there, and I'm going to insert my hook into the second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and I'm going to leave this loop on a hook. And I'm going to repeat the same for the last chain. So insert into the last chain, yarn over and pull through, leave the loop on a hook. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook like this. So this is the forward pass. To work the return pass in Tunisian crochet, we're going to yarn over, pull through 1 like this, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so this is the start of our skinny scarf. Now the way we're going to work this is that we're going to increase on both sides of our work for the kind of the bottom point, and then once we reach the 21 stitches, we're going to be working in straight rows. So for row 2 forward pass, we're going to increase, and now to increase, we're going to be working under the vertical bar of our work. So if I just remove my hook, we've got the stitch on the edge here, and then we've got the Tunisian simple stitch there in the middle. Okay, and then when I spin it this way, we've got this stitch on the very end there. So to increase the number of stitches, because at the moment we've got 3 stitches, so we need to go from 3 to 5. We're gonna insert our hook in the spaces between the stitches, working under the vertical bar that we created when we worked the return pass. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I've got the one loop on my hook, and now, as I said, I'm going to get real close, hopefully you'll be able to see it. We're going to insert our hook under that, between the first and the middle stitch, under that vertical bar there, okay, to increase. So I've got one loop on my hook, and I'm going to insert my hook in that indicated space we just spoke about, yarn over, pull through, and leave that loop on your hook. Now I've got this next vertical bar of that simple stitch that we did to start with, and into this stitch I'm going to work the purl stitch. So to work the purl stitch, I'm going to get the working yarn to the front of my hook, insert under the vertical bar, then let the yarn loop around the bottom there, and I'm going to anchor it with my thumb, and then yarn over, pull through, leave the loop on your hook. And now I've got the very last stitch in front of me, but before I work in the last stitch, I again need to increase. So I'm going to insert my hook in a space between the last two stitches, yarn over and pull through. So I've got 4 loops on my hook. And then for the very last stitch, if you look to the side of your work, we need to insert the hook under both loops of that very last stitch, yarn over, pull through. And just like that, we've gone from 3 loops on a hook to 5 loops on a hook. And the return pass is always the same, is yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, like this. So now we've gone from 3 to 5 stitches. For row 3, we're just going to work a standard row of purl stitches into every stitch, okay? So we're going to alternate increase row with a standard row. So for row 3, forward pass. Now don't forget that we increased, so you've got the edge stitch there, but we've got this one loop on the hook already that counts as the stitch, and then we increased, and we've got this loop right here that we need to work a purl stitch into, okay? So just standard 5 Tunisian purl stitches. So I've got the first loop on my hook. To work the next purl stitch, I'm going to go behind the working yarn and insert my hook into that loop, then anchor down that loop at the bottom of the vertical bar, yarn over and pull through like this, and you can see that you've got that little purly loop at the bottom. Then we're going to work the next purl stitch into the next one. So again, go behind the working yarn, insert your hook under the vertical bar, bring it to the front. I'm going to anchor it with my thumb, yarn over, pull through like this. Okay, then the next one, again, hook behind the yarn, insert. Now bring the yarn forward to create the loop at the bottom there. Place your thumb on it to hold it, yarn over, pull through like this. So I've got 4 loops on my hook, which brings me onto the very last stitch. And for the last stitch, we're just going to insert under both strands of yarn of the last stitch, yarn over, pull through. So for row 3, we're going to have 5 loops, and for the return pass, it's yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across until you have 1 loop left on your hook, like this. Okay, so now you can see that we are creating that point at the bottom of your skinny scarf like this. Now for row 4, again, we are going to increase the number of stitches. So we just worked 5 stitches. So for row 4, we need to increase to 7 loops on your hook, okay? So as we go on, as we have more stitches, it'll be so much easier to see where we're inserting a hook and what we're doing. So I've got the first loop on my hook already, and now in order to increase, okay, I need to insert my hook, let me just pop it there, into this space between the first and the next stitch, okay? So if you see it from there, so I'm going to pop the loop back on my hook, and I'm going to insert my hook into that very space I just showed you, yarn over and pull up a loop. So this is our increase. And now I've got 3 purl stitches in front of me, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to work 1 purl stitch into each like this. So that's my 1, 2 and 3, like this, and that leaves me with the very last stitch on the edge. But before I work the last stitch, I need to increase on this side again by inserting my hook between the last 2 stitches under the vertical bar running at the top. So let's go and insert the hook, yarn over and pull through like this, and then I'm gonna go and insert my hook under both strands of that last stitch, yarn over and pull through. So now just to double check, 2, 4, 6, 7 stitches, okay? So we increased from 5 to 7 stitches, and again the return pass is yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, all the way across until we reach the last stitch, and we have 1 loop left on your hook, like this, okay? So now we've increased to 7 stitches. So for row 5, I believe we're on row 5, we're gonna just work 1 Tunisian purl stitch all the way across, so we should have 7 loops on our hook. So I've got the first one on already, and I'm going to work the purl stitch into that loop there that we increased in previous row, and 1 purl stitch all the way across like this. I'm going to be doing it real slow so you can watch me and perhaps find your own technique. I mean, this is the way I do purl stitches, but by all means, if you find it easier to place the yarn to the front like this, insert your hook and then kind of wrap it round like this, by all means that's the way to do it. Or the way I do it is that I just go behind the working yarn with the hook, which is exactly the same thing. It's just whatever you find easier, okay? So don't think that just because I crocheted like this, you have to do this exactly the same. Find a way that is comfortable for you, okay? So there we go, 7 loops on a hook. And to work the return pass, again, I'm gonna yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, all the way across until we have 1 loop left on our hook, like this, okay? And basically that now becomes the repeat. So we're going to repeat increase row with a standard row, and by doing so the shape of the bottom of the scarf is going to be much more like an elongated triangle shape at the end, okay? So let's go ahead and work the next row together, and then I will let you carry on by yourself. You'll be fine. And we're going to increase all the way to 21 stitches this way, okay? So again, we need to increase on the next row. So let's have a look. This is probably, now you can see it much easier. So let's go ahead and insert my hook in the space between the first 2 stitches, which is this one here, okay, between the first 2 vertical bars. So insert your hook in there and pull up a loop. Then we're going to work 1 purl stitch all the way across until we get to the last stitch. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Don't forget that on this row we need 9 loops. Okay, so I've already got 2, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That brings me on to last stitch, so we need to increase in the space between the last 2 stitches, so in there, so that's 8 loops, and then the both strands of the last stitch, which is slightly stubborn, and that's 9. Okay, so that's 9 loops on your hook now. And the return pass is yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, all the way across. There we are. So we've got 9 stitches, and the following row is just 1 purl stitch into each across, like this, and the return pass is pull through 1 and pull through 2 all the way across. And as I said, go ahead and alternate an increase row with a standard row until you reach the point where you've got 21 stitches across. Okay, so go ahead, refer to the written pattern and follow the same repeat of a standard row and an increase row all the way up to 21 stitches, and I'll meet you back. And here we are at the end of the increases. I've got 21 loops on my hook. So now that you have increased to 21, we're just going to work the standard rows of Tunisian purl stitch. So I'm going to work the return pass now as standard, and then from now on just work Tunisian purl stitch across the 21 stitches until you reach the desired length of your skinny scarf, whether you want to wrap it around your neck a few times or whether you just want to kind of tie it once and wear it like a small skinny neckerchief type scarf as an accessory. That's completely up to you, because like I said, the length is completely customizable. Just repeat the full row forward pass and return pass of 21 purl stitches all the way up to the point where we're gonna decrease on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and work up as many rows as I need for the length I would like, and then I'll meet you back when we're gonna decrease on the other side. And here we are after I worked a few rows. I think I did 190. I might have to recount, but this is the length I am going for. So it's totally up to you how long you want your scarf to be, but now is the time to create the point, the same point we started with, so it's kind of pointed at the end. Now is the time to work the same point on the other side, but obviously we needed to increase at the start, so now we're going to decrease down to this point to match the other side. So to decrease in Tunisian purl stitch, we're going to work 2 stitches together, and to do that we're gonna work as standard purl stitch, but instead of 1 loop we're going to be inserting through 2 loops at a time to decrease the amount of stitches. Okay, so for the first decrease row, okay, I'm gonna look at the start, and obviously the first loop counts as the stitch for the edge one, and now I'm gonna look at the next 2 stitches. Okay, so it's this loop and the next loop, and as I said, to decrease, we're gonna insert our hook through both loops at the same time to work it into one stitch. So to work the purl stitch, again, I'm going to go with the working yarn to the front or with the hook behind, and I'm going to insert through the 2 loops, okay, and then bring the yarn to the front, anchor it down, yarn over, pull through. Okay, so that's how we're going to decrease the amount of stitches, and then just simply again work all the way across in standard purl stitches, and we're gonna stop 3 stitches before the end. Okay, and then we're gonna decrease again and work the last stitch. So we're not gonna be we're not decreasing the edge stitches, we're decreasing the next 2 stitches in away from the edge. Okay, so let's work all the way across. And as you can see, I've got 3 stitches left. I've got the two purl stitches there, and then the edge stitch on the very end. So I'm 3 stitches away from the end of the row, and to decrease again, we're going to start as a purl stitch and insert your hook through the next 2 or under the next 2 vertical bars, bring the yarn to the front, anchor it down and pull through the 2 loops like this, and then again under both strands of the last stitch like this. Okay, so at this point we should have 19 loops on the hook, and the return pass is very much exactly the same. So yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across the row until you have 1 loop left on your hook like this. And now for the next row, we're just going to work a standard row where we work 1 Tunisian purl stitch all the way across. So the very same alternating 2 rows as when we were increasing at the beginning of the scarf, we're going to do the same now when we're decreasing. So we're going to decrease by 2 stitches and then just work 1 standard row of Tunisian purl stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and work the next row, and then I'll show you another row how to decrease, just to confirm what we're doing, and then I'll let you go and finish your scarf. So we decreased to 19 stitches. Now we're going to decrease to 17. So once again, I'm going to look at the first 2 loops or 2 vertical bars apart from the edge stitch, because we don't work in the edge stitch, we've already got the loop. So the next 2 loops there, we're going to work together with the purl stitch. So hook behind the yarn, insert under first and second vertical bar and pull through. Okay, so we just work the 2 loops together, and now, as I said again, we're gonna work 1 Tunisian purl stitch all the way across until we have 3 stitches left. Like this. So I've got the next 2 vertical bars and then the very last edge stitch. So again, we're gonna go behind the working yarn, insert through first and the second, bring it forward, yarn over, pull through the 2 to work them together, and then under both strands of the last stitch, and here we go, just like that. From 19 stitches we have 17. Okay, so continue this way continue decreasing, and I'll meet you back at the end. Now I have decreased down to 5 stitches, so as you can see I've got 5 stitches in front of me, and to finish off we're gonna now work these 3 stitches together all at once. So I've got 1 loop on my hook. Now I'm gonna go behind the working yarn and I'm gonna insert my hook through all 3 stitches like this, bring the yarn forward, yarn over, pull through. So I've got 2 loops on my hook, and then 1 pick up a loop on the bow strands of the last stitch like this. So I've got 3 loops on my hook, and I'm gonna go through 1, through 2, and through 2 like this. And now I can chain 1 and just fasten off, because we have finished. So that's the decrease, that's the decrease end. Okay, and now all that's left to do is sew in these couple of ends we've got at the beginning and at the end of the scarf. So I'm going to go ahead, sew them in, and as you can see the purl stitch doesn't curl at all. But if your skinny scarf is kind of folding over like this a little bit, like mine is, and I think this is partly my fault because I didn't as I was working on a project, I probably didn't store it nice and neatly. I think I just had it thrown in my basket, so as you can see it's folding over a little bit, but I think it's more where it was thrown in my basket. So don't throw your skinny scarves in a basket, make sure they're nicely folded. So I'm gonna just give it a light block just to make it sit nice and straight, and then my scarf will be finished and it will be ready to wear as an accessory to pretty much any outfit. So I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. I would like to see your versions of this Tunisian skinny scarf, and I hope you enjoy the pattern. You can find the written pattern on bluestarcrochet.com or the PDF in my shops over on Etsy or Ravelry. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoyed this video tutorial, so you get notified every time I upload new video or tutorial. And all that's left to say is thanks so much for watching. Until next time.